Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Olean, and we're going to be taking a look at how to create that sound from Crystal Waters' Gypsy Woman. Very cool, nice sound and old school and this kind of stuff, and definitely something to have in your arsenal. So, a little thing up front, we're going to be working with a Midi file where you basically have the chords of, or something close to the chords of the original. Um, if you want to download this MIDI file in order to have those chords ready, take a look at the description, and I'm going to post a link uh, to a Facebook post where I'm going to post the download link, just so that for those interested of liking my Facebook page, there's a direct link to that, and then you can grab. It's going to be a Dropbox download link to this MIDI file where you can get this thing. All right. Let's give a well. Let's actually give the original a quick listen, so just that we have a refresher of what we're working towards. Okay, that should be enough. So something I can say right up front is that they used a Korg M1 to create this sound, which is like a kind of a keyboard sampler piece of gear kind of thing. And the cool thing about that is that you actually don't need this guy. You can also get the plugin version from their Legacy collection, which is like $50. So that's I think for what you can do with it, it's a pretty decent deal. So I'm going to put the link in the description to that as well. So we're going to be working in the M1. So this is mainly also for people who actually do have this plugin, because since they really use the M1 to create the sound, the only way to get very close to the original sound is by using this M1. But for those of you who don't have this plugin, I have a little tip maybe to not let you down completely. And I'm actually going to go into Logic for that because I don't have that many sounds in Ableton. And I have pretty cool sounds in this Logic 9 version. So I thought I'd jump in here. So I have the same MIDI clip in here right now. And what you want to look for in order to get something similar to the sound from Gypsy Woman is an organ sound, which is kind of percussive and jazzy. So once you have those chords, it's already going to sound decent. And then you can just look in your samplers or in your sounds in Ableton or in what any other DAW you're using. You're going to be looking for organ sounds, which in this case you find in Logic under keyboards. Then you have organs, and then you have like percussive, like jazz sounds and many different ones. I mean, some organs are more churchy, then others sound like a reggae organ and this kind of stuff. So you really have to check it out. But I'm pretty sure that you're gonna find something nice in one of those, and you can already keep your eyes open for like jazz and percussive stuff. So let's actually give it a listen, what that would sound like with one of these presets. Okay, this isn't amazing. Anyway, that should be enough just to give you an idea of what this could sound like with different organ presets. Um, yeah, but that should be it for anything happening outside the M1. So let's actually jump in here. So this is the initial preset you will get when you open your M1 plugin. And the thing we're going to be looking for, or we can use as a starting point, is any preset of this guy that contains the basic organ 2 sound. So the way the M1 is set up is you can combine many different sounds and layer them, and each of them have basically their own oscillator where they either sample sounds or waveforms and this kind of stuff. So you can make very complex sounds. And then you have your oscillators, at least when you're in the easy view, you have your oscillators over here, which you can also browse individually. And then you have organ presets, and the organ 2 is what we need for this sound. And this sound was also the basis for the Show Me Love percussive organ sound, which you can also real quick find if you go to pianos and M1 house split. You have this organ down here. But once you go up here, there's the piano. So let's delete the piano for now and just, so this is the piano over here, and let's clear out the piano. Now we're only left with the organ bass, but up here we don't hear anything because we have to widen the MIDI spectrum of the organ bass. So here on this MIDI tab, you can set up which key triggers which sound. And for now, the key zone of this organ bass is only halfway. So because we had the piano up here and the organ down here. So let's bring this all the way up. Now we have this guy all the way. So this is kind of a starting point we can use. Let's actually listen to the MIDI sample and what we have right now. So it already sounds kind of close, right? So now let's fine tune this. And this is also a good exercise, I guess, to kind of check out what else you can do with the M1. So once you go to this easy or oscillator section, well, this is the easy section where you have these envelopes, and then you get them again over here, but this is kind of all in one place. We only have this organ sound right here. And then we have a filter, which is just in any other synthesizer, a filter that you can also modulate with a filter envelope. Okay. And then this is your amp envelope. So the loudness contours of the sound. Then here you have a compressor on top. We can check what it sounds without and with it, and then compare. And what I noticed right away when I was listening to this sound compared to the original is that it's very attacky. There's this click in the beginning, while here it's like softer. So we can try to achieve that by just giving it some attack time and having the filter slide in instead of just instead of starting all the way up. Let me listen to what this sounds like. Hoppa. It's maybe a bit much. So yeah, so now we're already getting a bit closer, right? Something else I noticed is it sounded, you heard the movement of the filter a bit more. So over here, you decide how much the filter, well, this is the modulation depth, basically, how much the filter is gonna go up before it then applies the envelope of coming down and stuff. So maybe if we up this a bit and we can even bring it down a bit more, this is gonna have a nice effect. And then we can also enable the resonance, because it did sound like there was a bit of resonance falling through the sound. So let's listen to that. Cool. And I'm not going to go over how to fine tune this completely, also because I haven't been able to completely recreate the original sound. But from here on, you can play around with the filter envelope and say like, hey, I actually want a bit of sustain level and a bit more attack. And you can also set the decay time to whatever you feel like, to have it more punchy or less punchy. Maybe that's... So yeah, like this, you can already hear kind of what effect changing the envelope can have on the sound. But yeah, I'm going to leave the fine tuning up to you. And maybe on a final note, trying to recreate some sounds can be a cool exercise to see if you can do that. But sometimes it's also a big waste of time, because why would you want to sound exactly like something else unless you have to like make a cover version of it or something like this? But in general, you can get some cool sounds by playing around with the settings yourself, and then doesn't sound exactly the same, but it also sounds nice. So sometimes you can save time by approaching it more like that and creating more of your own sound than exactly trying to replicate another one. Um, yeah, so if you have any other questions or comments or feedback, feel free to post those in the description. Like I said, I'm going to put the link to the M1, the link to the link to the MIDI clip in the description as well. Um, yeah, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to subscribe and stuff like that, feel free. I think I'm gonna make a lot more videos about the M1 um, in order to, well, to kind of share my insight or what I've worked out over the weeks and months of using this fella. How you can get most out of it basically. Because in the beginning I was like, oh, okay, cool presets and this kind of stuff. But once you really wrap your head around what's in here, it's basically such a great tool because you can do so many things with it, and there's so many cool different sounds, just all this different stuff you can use for the oscillators. Like you can have sampled piano sounds, organ sounds, bells, mallets, but you also have waveforms, so you can use it as a synthesizer, and these guys sound very nice in analog. So you even have a waveform that's called analog, and they sound very nice to make bass sounds or basically many different things. So yeah, if you want to have more of that kind of stuff, you can also request it in the comments and let me know on Facebook or stuff like that. I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you around. Have a good one. Peace.